Okay, y'all. So I am having a mental something. So, um, I know that I've been existing from a dissociative state, um, and I'm mindful to like um, diagnose myself or say certain things because I realize that every time I adopt or come into new knowledge, I often take um, a humbled road or a less road or a um, like a oh I don't know everything, or I'm not as confident, or I'm not as sure, or this is just my from because of like I realize some of that stems from like not having other people believe me, like having to like stand in my identity alone, and that not being rewarded or being accepted, and often like getting in trouble for having strong views and a personality, individuality that was so different, and sticking with that, and quite literally having to be shaken and beaten to a whole new way. And so, even though I know that I'm obviously, like, I do know, I'm aware of like my lifestyle, my habits, the things that I choose to do or not do that keep me fragmented. But if I'm being honest, God, the Most High, my ancestor, my guides, like the wisdom, the dreams, the access that I have been able to still have while in my bullshit, my ignorance, my humanity, because what it's really been has been an integration and been an awareness. Like I'm not gonna say I have just tried, just like, because I haven't tried to that capacity. Because I feel like if I tried it to that level, I would have achieved it at that level. So I truly believe that where I'm at is where I want to be, and when I desire to expand further, I will reach for the things I need to do to have that. And beating myself up, it even though like it seems like it's for the good, like it's for healing, it's for new life, it's for manifesting better, it's for being better. Like I had this idea that I was doing all this surgery on myself for the better. And I look at this kind of how if you look at Western medicine versus holistic medicine, there are those, I would say we could give it 50-50, we could say 30%, we could give it whatever percent you want to give it. But there are those times that Western medicine, Western practices work so well that it's hard to refute, it's hard to disqualify, it's hard to say that this practice is 100% unhealthy, that it did more harm than good, because the result is so, the outcome is so refutable, it's so it's so radical. Yet when you think about the incremental things and all of the things that took place to the body, all of the dramatic unnatural changes, the exposure to unnatural things, and the body having to adapt to that eco, that new environment of foreign invaders. So it's like, when you think about it, and hopefully I don't lose it, but when I think about it from this place, I'm like I went down this path so many different ways in one lifetime. Like in the last 4 years, like I haven't even grazed the surface of what I can actually access as far as like what's actually out there in the world, as far as holistic health, even Western medicine, because there's so much stuff that if you know the right people or you have the right resources, then you could access these things. So all of the shit that I got is truly based off of harvesting, energy harvesting, and natural processes, going out here and making some shit happen, trying some shit, living, manifesting, working with the little shit that I got. You know, I'm a girl from the hood. I never want to leave that part out, because one, I feel like we are often left out and aren't seen at our fullest glory. And yeah, I don't want, like, I realize I think I'm alchemizing this like this idea that the struggle or less is less. Less is just less. Like, less isn't less. Less is just less is less. Like, if I'm more, of course I'm not going to want less. I'm more. It doesn't work for me. I can't relate to that, and that's okay. But less doesn't have to receive any shade from more, because it's less. In fact, that makes more less. That makes me more like less. That makes me more less than less. Because less is being less. Less is less. Less is less. The moment I decide as more to focus on less, I become lesser than less itself. That type of shit is infathomable. God cannot work in that place. Y'all are wondering where God is. God can't operate in these spells, in these things we do to ourselves. So anywho, I realized that even in my dissociativeness, even in me thinking I'm being less to myself or beating myself up, no, I've been building myself up. I have been challenging my mind. I have been strengthening my mind. And this regressive state of being, like this year of like regression that I've had, has been an opportunity for me to integrate into really like an ego, like a tower moment. Like, here is your time before your time. Like, I'm going to give you this opportunity to see yourself before you get to a place where, and honestly, I'm not even going to look at it like that, because I may get to a place where I am back in a place where I'm like, oh my God, how the fuck does my life look like this? And I think it's important for me to put this out now, because there is likely a lot of spiritualists, a lot of women, a lot of men, a lot of healers, a lot of conscious people, a lot of people who came before me who have already had this moment or having this moment where they have built themselves up, they have manifested so far, they have seen millions. I'm talking, they have seen the bank accounts 000. They have seen the multiple bank accounts. They have seen, and now they are at that place where either it's all gone and they don't know how to attach to the self that accrued all of that. They don't know the sense of self. It's all changing. It's transforming again. Or they are one choice, one decision, one mispayment, one whatever away from losing it all. So it's operating out of false egoic, scarcity, matrix, capitalism even. There's even, it's intentional. Like, you're meant to forget. You're meant to go so high and then be reminded that, because you are God. You are God experiencing itself, but you're doing so on under your own rules, like under your own confines, and righteously so. Like, if you knew that if you didn't have earthly limits, there wouldn't be a real experiencing. And I kind of feel like Abraham fucking Hicks. Like, I'm not even going to hold you right now, y'all. There are some things that I be thinking and saying that I know it's going to be used in a way that I can't even fathom it. Like, I be visualizing things for myself that I know, like, when it happened, I'm like, I'm going to be on autopilot because I've already experienced it for real. Because it's like, and people look at it as being desperate or looking at it as being eager, but like, I'm like, when you be eating syrup sandwiches, when you don't know where your next meal gonna come from, when you are like checking to check, you are desperate for a better life. And I think it's cruel for people to make your hunger for better, like, wrong. And I get, like, if I'm chasing it, it's obviously running from me. No, but if I'm hungry and I see the food right over there, and they say I can't run to it, I can't walk to it, because the further I try, it keeps going. I get that. So I'm not running. I'm not chasing something. But I can acknowledge, and I'm aware that there is a deficit, there is a lack, there is a reality that I'm experiencing that is unfavorable to the one that I desire to have. That is real. You can, and the only way to even accept and be okay with that is to identify with the reality of it, to embrace the now. Because it's only then do I even get closer to changing or being able to touch the things that I want to have for real. So I don't think it's I don't think it's a negative to do the things, or to, I wouldn't say hyperfixate, but just fixate on the things you don't want. Because it's what if what you have is what you don't want, and you know that, accept it. Because participating happily in what you don't want, isn't that confusing the universe? Doesn't that say something other than what I desire it to say? And so I don't know. I just have been, okay. I had a moment because I have a YouTube channel that it was growing and it was doing a thing, and I honestly don't care to see it grow past where it's grown. Not because I don't desire to grow it, but the energy that I, the version of me feels is present in that channel is no longer the frequency that I resonate with. And even though I am still, right now, I'm giving off content in that same regard, I didn't want to. Like, I want to be, like, at rest. Like, in my real life, I'd rather be journaling than talking. But I realize I don't write as fast as I talk or think. So, of course, this is also going to be practices and mindfulness. Like, instead of coming here, I'm going to choose to do these things in the future and, like, paying attention to inspiration and influence, etc. So, but yeah, I just realized that, like, a part of me just doesn't like how unclear I feel. But at the same time, I know that this is the clear right now. This is the clearer I'll ever be. Right now, like, there is no other moment than this. So if I don't do it now and I choose to do it later, then I'm just recanting or trying to remember and trying to, and that just doesn't work. So I have to be prepared to live in the moment and to share what is happening as it's happening, which could be difficult. And so there is a lot of things coming up, and I want to give myself more time to process it and sit with what actually needs to be released and expressed. And I'll come back with something else. Until next time.